Hello, good Friday, everybody. This is Jake Cunningham giving you a shout out from beautiful Michigan. We have some sun today. We had some windstorms, and there's a lot of blackouts from those the last couple of days. I know the DTE Energy's working overtime. We've got support from neighboring states to get power back up. Luckily, we seem to be in a little bubble, and we have not had too many issues, a couple little power outages, but there's still over, I think, 650, 700,000 people without power. So to all those people, we wish them the best. Hopefully they got their little emergency kits and generators running if they need it. But just shows and reminds us how to not take the connection we have, the electricity, the furnaces for granted, and to also be prepared when you don't have it. Today is March 10th, 2017, and I welcome all of you on. Last week we had a wonderful guest, Ginger Bowler, who presented to us what she's doing and some of the new things in her world, and that includes the light therapy that we now carry. And there's a very special promotion that I'll be sharing with you after our training today. And this week we have a training by my father, Bill Cunningham. And it's really an overview of the software, but there's some gems in here. This was a demo he did for one of my prospects, and he talks about some of the different parts of the program and gets into detail about those. So there's gems in here. Enjoy it. It's about 16 minutes, and I decided to get started a little on time and early for once. And so for those of you who are tuning in live, I just welcome you. And for those of you who are watching the replay, thank you for joining us. And again, this is a Eductor 64 software overview, and you'll still learn some things whether you use the Skio or the Indigo or the Eductor hardware. Remember, the philosophy and the protocol and the workflow is common amongst all these. It's really not different, and that's something important to know. Don't feel you're left out if you don't have the latest software. This is the last version of the software because this was done, I believe, late summer. So enjoy, everybody, and welcome to the focus call. I hope you learn a little bit of information, and today we're going to be we're not going to go over 30 minutes. This is a 16-minute little video clip I'm going to play. Enjoy it, and then we'll touch base, go over some housekeeping things afterwards. Okay? Talk to you soon. See you there.
The technical name is called a Zeroid test, kind of a Star Wars-y type idea. But what's happening there, Carla, is over 12,000 different biological frequencies are being presented to the body electric. There's going to be a response to that in very fast nanosecond biological speed times, and then the computer is going to calculate for us and prioritize those reactions. Here's the case from this morning. Now, this is the most reactive thing, the most next reactive thing, et cetera, et cetera. So, for instance, now, in your ballgame of nutritional consulting, if you knew that this person's bowel flora was upset by funguses, that would be a very key issue for you. Let's say if you wanted to look at some of the allergy issues in this person, you could go to that matrix and you could say, well, gee, now, yes, there's some pollen issues, but possibly, ma'am, or whoever you're testing, are you taking too much or too little lemon, etc.? Are you eating too much corn? You're allergic to it, by the way, and corn sugars breed funguses, blah, blah, blah. So you'd be able to do a printout of this for them regarding foods to avoid and or rotate, but you'd also be getting at the cause of the situation, Carla, by knowing what is going on in the gut. And here's the key right here. Obviously, they're also reactive to GM genetically modified food. So right here, these three little reactivities would be extremely valuable to you as a nutritionist and a consultant. So just an example of a real-time test this morning. Now,
okay, I understand what you're saying. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Very good there. Yeah, so in other words, now the computer, and now you have literally during this 3 to 5 minute test, however long it takes, people are different, they test anywhere from about 3 to 5 minutes. The idea would be for you not only to get up, stretch your legs, go get some water, you get up and leave the room. There's no way in heck that you can interfere with that extremely vital process that's going on during what we call the zeroid test. So
And,
now,
and it only takes 5 minutes to come up with the data capture?
exactly, because here's what's going on. The body electric can respond to these things in 1/2000th to 1/2500th of a second. So if you take 12,000 things and do this test, now everybody tests at a different rate because some people are a little slower on the draw, some people are very hyperreactive, etc. So anywhere from 3.5 to 5 minutes, boom, you have got this top 40 reactions. Now there's other things in here too. This is an adrenal patient, Carla. So obviously they're going to have a little more sensitivity to things. So now here's another exciting thing. When you go over to the risk profile, this would be the next step that you do. You're going to calculate here what the highest risk is. Well, look right here. Adrenals, fungus, and stress. Now you can also go down to digestion. You can go down to food poisoning. Anything that relates to you can go down to allergies, your ball game, your expertise, etc. Now we know, as you know, 70% of your immune system is in your gut. Food is your best medicine, etc. One of the key issues in this whole ball game is to prepare the GI tract to break down, assimilate, and eliminate foods better. Now this might interest you too. Let's go over to the SARcode page, how you might use this just as a quick example. Okay, now if we go into the SARcode page, these are the organ pages, I would say, in your terms, we can see what is going on in the digestive exocrine alimentary system. Now, normally, the scores should be between 80 and 100 to be ideal. Well, now here we have stress in the autonomic nervous system. The parotid glands probably aren't working so well. There's food reactivities. Stomach is a little weak. Gallbladder and liver are doing great. And then possibly some kind of slight weakness in small and large intestine. So in other words, you'd know exactly where to go to start detoxification and rebuilding of that GI tract tissue. Well, now what are those stones in the shoe and nails in the tire? Well, here they are. You're going to find out quickly what is jamming up the gut tissue. In this case, Carla, food additives and insecticides, and again, possibly a small amount of radiation, most likely from the lifestyle we all live these days. Now, these are actually homeopathic formulas Professor Nelson developed many years ago to help detoxify people, and especially in this case now, this would apply directly to nutritional counseling. If you've got food additives and insecticides jamming up the cell walls in the gut, well, any nutrition that Carla recommends isn't going to work so well. Also, if we don't get rid of candidas and things like that out of the gut, what good is nutrition? So that would be a valuable precursor step for you, let's say, to know these kind of things about doing a case of nutritional counseling or any of your group that's interested in this technology. So that's an example. Now, these are all high reactivities to issues. Now, notice that there's not so much issue with amoebas, bacterias, prions, protozoas, virus, worms, etc. Possibly some sugar toxicity. But again, what does sugar do? It feeds fungus. So if you knew just that about this patient and did nothing more, you would be in stardom with your friends and patients and clients, etc. Very, very important because, Carla, what we do best in this ballgame, dear, is we find the cause of disease and then we will go on to rebuild organ systems that need support. So in this case now, we have a formula that addresses every organ in the gut. You might want to use it in the future, who knows. But again, we don't just find the stone in the shoe and detoxify the person. We find it very valuable to then rebuild that area. And last but not least, now, as a nutrition expert, we go to the nutrition profile, we calculate that data, and we go in and we find out, well, gee, what's going on here? Well, the key issue in this person's case is a lack of lipase. The pancreas is not making lipase. Again, the remedy I suggested earlier, called propepsia, rebuilds the pancreas, but also gives lipase too. Liquid form, of course. So here again is a way of strengthening very precisely what you would do with this nutritional client. Also, we can stimulate enzyme production by the device by giving simply an energetic blueprint or frequency, you might say, to increase hydrolyzing enzymes, thinking enzymes, breathing enzymes, etc., etc. All these little enzyme families are noted and cared for, first of all, with the frequencies in the machine, and secondly, with the idea of the remedies or whatever you recommend. Here now, looking at some of the issues, you might want to say, ooh, there's also some ideas regarding protein digestion. Well, if you're not breaking proteins down, Carla, via the protease enzyme, you're not having an amino acid spectrum. So right away now,
can I ask you a question?
Sure, yes,
just
go right.
Pause for just a second.
Please do.
What you just said, when you're talking about blueprinting, could I say take the supplement that we want to use and then install the frequency into that so that I can enhance the value of that? Is that what you're saying?
No. Actually, what you do is you go in here, for instance, now I'm just going to open the protein thing. Yeah. Now you're going to come in and say, okay, well, it's basically in the small intestine chymotrypsin area, there's a flaw, and then animal protein is your worst nemesis, sir or madam. So then you'd click Nutra Energy Balance. You'd give. So
you're doing that by saying that it's by looking at the 113 or the 110. Is that what? Is that how you're getting that information?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the rest of these are fine. So in other words, in this case now, this may be a little too low, but this is ideal. This is ideal. So what we do, we give the energetic blueprint of that idea first, and then we would give an actual supplement to carry on the work.
So the animal protein conversion is what you want to handle, and the aromatic peptides is what you want to handle. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and of course, as you probably know, Jake may have told you that there's a whole remedy repertoire in here that Dr. Nelson has created. Now, anybody can use any formulas they want to, but just to show you, for instance, I'll give you an idea here. If you go back to the test screen and you go into the combination doctor recommends, and then you'll see some things that this person is requesting. Now, we haven't gotten to the allergy areas yet, but if I went in there, you'd see the grain allergy as the most offensive allergen to this client. So in other words,
and you know that because the number is the highest, is that right? The 125 value?
Yeah, yes, dear. See where grain is just the very next thing here, next to fungi fuge?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Are you saying that there's like a specific nutritional supplement line, or could we put our supplements that we have been working with and get them into your catalog?
Yeah, of course you can. Now, you can program them in yourself, or over a longer period of time, you would send the test kit of what you have to Budapest. Dr. Nelson would put those remedies in for you because, let me just show you a couple things here. So a couple different ways you could do it. If you go back to the top 40 items, you're going to find a couple other, let's see if I can just find one. Okay, now see this product right here, Thyroxol K12, that's a company called Apex Energetics. So in other words, there's probably about 12 different remedy companies in here, but again, since Dr. Nelson taught me to use his remedies 24 years ago, and they're made right here in Denver, I've used them on 40,000 people, I like those. You might like something else, and yes, you can. Now, let's just say you have something that's not in our test kit. Well, then you can go over to the homeopathic activation. You can type in women's vitamins. Sorry.
And Carla, this is the place I was sharing with you about getting a response or a quality control for individual reactions to supplements, right? This is where you would use the test tray and do a reactivity test on an individual product that, say, someone brings in the bushel of products, the basket full, so on.
So Carla, here for instance, dear, somebody brings in something from General Nutrition Center called Women's Vitamins. Okay, the test tray is now made out of gold and copper wiring. It gets fed into the biofeedback box. The frequency picture or the energetic blueprint or the fingerprint of that remedy gets bounced off the body electric, and here's how you do it. I'll just say, okay, let's test the reaction of that remedy, and then you'll find out. Now, this is a great service to people because so many people, I'm sure you know this, bring in just bushel baskets full of junky pills and capsules that are not doing their gut one bit of good. Okay, now for instance, here's a case where at this percentage, this crappy women's vitamin from GNC is actually causing irritation in this person's gut.
And how do you know that? What are you looking at?
See where my cursor is, where it's showing 17%? Okay, now a remedy would have to get up to the 80th percentile in resonance and, let's say, attractability would be a common word for it, before I or you would recommend that product to somebody.
I got it.
So,
okay.
Yeah, very handy. Very handy. And again, people bring in, when they first come in, boulders full of this kind of stuff, literally just bushel baskets full of these things. And 99% of them do not test well, namely because Dr. Nelson also realized that liquid nutrition, liquid homeopathy, is far superior to pill and capsule mentality. That's what the drug companies used many years ago to abate side effects from the drugs. So we really shouldn't be using that stuff. Okay, very good. Okay, now let's say we've done kind of our basic work there. We found some things to detoxify, rebuild the gut with, and actually improve nutrition. Well, then we can go to the biofeedback therapy programs and we can say to ourselves, well, now, patient, I don't know what therapy that you need here because there's so many of them to choose from, so we'll let you choose which ones you want to do. Now, they have chosen to uplift their trivector signature to coordinate the voltage amperage resistance. So you just go in to here and you put the electroculation boost on and you start this trivector boosting therapy. Now what it does, it improves the voltage, the amperage, and the resistance in this client. Namely because, again, one of these vectors usually, or all three, Carla, are in low gear and the battery needs recharging. So now, what does that do for you as a nutritionist? Well, for instance, anything else you do for them, whether it be a remedy or you refer them out to a chiropractor or whatever, this trivector field, because it's strong now, is the basic energetic launching pad for every other type of therapy that you would do. Metabolic repair, anti-aging, as I noted in your bio, etc. So this is an extremely important therapy. However, there's all kinds of them in here. There's scalar therapy, there's Rife frequency, the trivector, there's automatic meridian therapy, there's spinal therapy, all kinds of stuff in here. There's time therapies. Check this out. There's 24 different time therapies here. And again now, notice here, start autodigestive system therapy. So obviously a big part of what we do is nutrition. However, getting the stones out of the shoe, the nails out of the tire, and then rebuilding the gut, and then any nutritional recommendation, Carla, is much more effective. And usually in our case, liquid form, if possible.
I got it. Okay. There's so much commonality. I'm kind of grateful for that bioenergetic testing that I did in the past because I really understand what you're saying.
Yes.
So I like.
All right, everybody. So that wasn't any specific focus per se, other than going through some of the core elements of your program that gives you some, also a reminder, a refresher of how amazing this technology is and how to interpret it. Even listening to different instructors, whether that's Faith Nelson, Professor Nelson, whether that's Gage, whether that's my dad, whether that's Ginger Bowler, Louise, whatever instructor you've learned from, everybody brings their own style and interpretation style and the words and languages they use to explain what's happening. What I liked about that clip I found was the explanation, and I encourage you to review that later today or over the weekend, next week, whenever you want. But review how he's talking about how it's working, right? How it's connecting and communicating with the body and the body electric. That dialogue and using those key terms, phrases, really helps that individual in the seat recognize that A, you know what you're talking about, but B, they get it. They understand to some basic level what's happening during the process, And it's not necessary for people to benefit from your services, but it is supportive. It's supportive. It's kind of like when, you go in for a good, we've all had probably a good massage. We've all had probably poor massages, but a good massage, that person leading you to the next step, explaining, okay, we're going to work now on the hamstring. Can you please roll over? These types of things, you're cueing them through. Now we're going to do this, and this is going to help with this. Next, we're going to do this, and this is important because of this. And that type of navigating is such a beautiful part of your process that you work with your clients. Okay, so that's today's focus, is the journey language, how to bridge the different programs and explain it. Even if you're not sharing your screen, you can be explaining what's next. Okay, now we're going to calibrate. This is creating the electrical handshake. After calibration, now it's time to test. This is the zeroid process. This is where the body is being asked at biological speeds if they react high, low, and sometimes I don't know because of that trinary logic to these different stress responses and these signature frequencies. Okay, I got it. Oh, okay. Be calm, stiff, or still, but not stiff. And I'm going to get up and get a glass of drink and give you this space to be by yourself. Like this is the art form, kind of the dance of an effective session. And my dad's a master at it. And there's a lot of other masters, which you all are too. And so the more you practice, the better you are. And hopefully this was a little bit of a tip for you to remind you that, hey, this is fun. This is easy. This is fun. And you guys have invested a lot of time, money, energy into this system. Go out there and put it to use. Do not be, don't be hesitant to ask people to come in and try your services. Go out there and really touch the world. You have something pretty remarkable in the work you do. Last week, we talked about the light therapies and how that can benefit the practices of the individuals and yourself. What I love about the lights and Ginger Express too is that this is a system that gets to help the person very directly. Okay, it's very linear, direct. What you see is what you get. There's not a lot of explanation other than what are some of the benefits of the lights. With the quantum, you have to go a little deeper to connect, right? In terms of this is working on the subtle body electric, something you can't visually see. With the lights, they can see. And that's why that helps support each other, that those different systems, as well as your other technologies, whether that be the Beamer system or the other PEMF technologies and other human physical touch services. They all support each other in that holistic approach. So before I go, I just want to share with you real quick the March sales promotion, because so I want to always remind you that I have great here. Let's see here. Are you able to see my screen? You should be able to. So, long story short, you get the HTC course with any Eductor package. That's a $2,000 value. You get $2,000 of retail remedies with an Eductor purchase. Now, if you update from a Skio or Indigo, you get the course but no remedies. So it's $1,000 value. Just to let you know, for those in the market, to upgrade your technology. For the light therapy, you receive this new T-Blue-Pad T-port, T-Pad, that can go across the lower back and spine all in one. It's a $500 value, and that's with any Pro 6-port system. And the 6-port systems are the 6-port 6-pad and then the 6-port 3-pad expandable. And these two systems are here. We've got great financing. You can finance it with the different many credit cards that have 0%, 12 months, 0% interest. And that payment would be covered in 1 or 2 sessions a month that you would have for your clients. So give me a call. I'm here to support you. I'm here to also thrive. And the more people I get products into the hands, the more people are being helped. And I'm passionate about that. And I've been doing it for a long time. The lights are new. I'm excited about those. But in terms of the biofeedback, I'm here to support you. And that means even if you're having trouble with your software, give us a call. And I'd love to help serve, make sure your products are functioning and placed properly so you can do what you do best, and that is serve your clients. So with that said, everybody, I'm going to turn off the screen share. I don't think I ever shared my camera today, but that's okay. You guys, that's a picture of me. You guys know what I look like. I wish you a wonderful weekend. We're coming up about 25 minutes. That's perfect for today's focus. And I love you all. I'm going to have my dad on live next week for a Q&A as well as a teaching. If you guys have not used the Doctor Recommends Homeopathy, you got to give it a try. Call the office, and that is 303-828-4439, and simply say, Jake sent me. I want to try a product, a remedy. You have to give that a go, because the effectiveness of that for not only you and your family's health, your practice's well-being with the profit that comes in, but most importantly, the results and the goal and the mission for which is the whole reason you got involved with this, right? Is to produce results. And I'll remind you right now, those formulas are not an add-on that was created after the fact, like after the first eclosion device was developed. Those formulas were built with the system. Those were the original test matrix items. Long before Young Living and the Light Crystal and all the other products and substances added, it was the original test matrix. The nosodes, the isodes, the sarcodes, the miasms. That's exactly what it was built to go along with. So just think about that. It's not something new. It's something that was original part of the process. So with that said, much love to you all. Go out and get them. Go get a new client this weekend. Whether you're at Whole Foods checkout line or the grocery store or church or wherever you're going to do, invite someone in for a demonstration. Invite someone in to experience what you have to offer. And just say, you got to take my word for it. Because guess what? I can't show you from just verbal. It's really almost like, don't take my word for it. Come in and experience it for yourself. So with that said, much love to you all. Have a great weekend. And if you need any support or advice on your marketing, your practice, anything like that, I'm here for you. Give me a shout out. My number is area code 248-242-4290. That's 248-242-4290, and website whitedoveglobal.com. And I'm just the messenger. Hopefully you gained some insight today. Much love to you all. Stay focused, stay happy, stay healthy. I'll see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.